In this video, we're going to talk about how to move parts around on a sheet and how to move shapes around within a part and how to know exactly where we're putting it. So we're going to sketch out a couple rectangles with each creation of a rectangle that just made us a new part. And as long as I do not have my mouse up within another part, that just created two separate parts for us, both of them named default. I'm going to then sketch in a rectangle inside of each of those parts. And now that rectangle has become a group of the part itself. So you see when I select the part, the rectangle and the boundary of that part also becomes selected. To move a part with the part that we want to move selected, clicking in the part, typing the letter M is going to allow us to select everything within that part and be able to move that part around anywhere we want on the sheet. Same thing with the other part. As we're moving that part around, if we overlap another part, the shape that we're moving becomes red, an outline red, showing that we are overlapping the part, and that overlap also includes the part spacing that we have set in our settings. To move a part to be of a specific location, we could select everything, all objects of that part. We could come down to the absolute relative move section. So currently we have it set to move. This is the location that we're moving to, and the reference XY is where X and Y reference is being offset from. So currently, with it being 0, 0, any value we put in for X and Y is going to be based on the lower left corner of the sheet. So if we enter in 2 and 2 and select move, that is going to move this part 2 inches from 0 in the X and 2 inches from 0 in the Y. With it being selected, if I click move again, it's not going to go anywhere because it is already currently at the absolute position of 2 and 2 from the referenced 0, 0. If I want to move it another 2 inches, we would have to enter in 4 and 4 and then move. We also have the relative move. Setting the option to relative now moves whatever value I have entered in. It's moving that distance from its current location. So if I want to move this part 1 inch to the right, I'm going to set the X to 1, the Y to 0, and select move. If I keep clicking move, it is going to continue to move 1 inch from that current relative location. Another way to move parts around is just by, again, dragging and dropping. We could move an individual shape. So if I want to have this rectangle be set to be the lower left, selecting that rectangle, clicking move, and going to snap both locations. I could move at a relative distance in the X by 1 and the Y by 1, selecting move. We are now 1 inch from the lower corner. We have another way to move, and that is also absolute positioning. If I want it to always be absolute from the corner of this position of the part, we could click the button over here with the letter P on it and come over and snap to the location that I want the reference point to be. So currently that is the 10.04 and 1697. That is where the lower left of the part itself is located. With that being set, I can now enter in an exact value that I want this rectangle to be from that lower left corner. If I want it to be 4 inches and 4 inches, setting that and selecting move. If I want it to be at a position, say, from the upper left, I'm going to set the option here to be upper left. And now when we get in a value here, it is going to be set 1 inch from the upper left position. And unfortunately, I just moved the part. So again, selecting the shape that we want to move it to, going to select, confirm that that point is still there, selecting the part I want to move, and selecting 1 and 1 with the option set to the top left, selecting move, is going to move that 1 inch from that current location. So what really needed to happen here is that Y needs to be a -1 because I want to move it down from the position that it is. So setting that to -1 is going to move that down. That is one of a few ways that we could move parts and shapes around.